Welcome back to 3 Minutes Studio. Today, we're diving into one of history's most epic military campaigns, the Gallic Wars. This wasn't just any war, it was the conflict that catapulted Julius Caesar from an ambitious politician into a legendary conqueror and set the stage for the end of the Roman Republic. Ready to see how one man's ambition redrew the map of Europe? Let's get into it. In 58 BCE, the Roman Republic was a powerhouse, but its political scene was a snake pit of rivalries. Enter Julius Caesar. Appointed as the governor of Gaul, he saw a golden opportunity. North of Italy, the lands of Gaul, what we now know as France and Belgium, were a patchwork of fierce and independent Celtic tribes. Caesar needed fame, fortune, and a loyal army to climb the political ladder in Rome. His excuse came when the Helvetii tribe decided to migrate, crossing through Roman-allied territory. Citing this as a threat to Rome, Caesar mobilized his legions. What began as a defensive action quickly spiraled into a full-blown war of conquest. For the next 8 years, Caesar and his legions marched across a hostile landscape of dense forests, wide rivers, and rugged mountains. They weren't just fighting an army, they were fighting the very land itself. The Gallic tribes were skilled warriors, masters of ambushes and guerrilla warfare. They united under powerful leaders, but none were as formidable as Vercingetorix. This charismatic chieftain managed to do the impossible: unite the fractured Gallic tribes against Rome. The ultimate showdown came at the Siege of Alesia in 52 BCE. Caesar's legions were in a tight spot, besieging Vercingetorix's army inside the fortress, while being surrounded by a massive Gallic relief force. In a stroke of engineering genius, Caesar ordered his men to build 2 lines of fortifications, one facing inward to trap the Gauls, and another facing outward to repel the attackers. It was a gamble that paid off. The Gauls were decisively crushed and Vercingetorix was forced to surrender. By 50 BCE, all of Gaul was under Roman dominion. Caesar had achieved everything he set out to do. He had expanded Rome's borders all the way to the Atlantic Ocean, looted immense wealth to pay his debts, and most importantly, forged an army of veterans fiercely loyal to him alone. But his staggering success back in Rome was met with fear and suspicion. The Senate saw him not as a hero but as a threat to their power. This growing tension would soon boil over. Just a year later, Caesar would famously cross the Rubicon River with his army, defying the Senate and sparking a civil war that would ultimately destroy the Republic and give rise to the Roman Empire. The Gallic Wars were more than just a conquest. They were the crucible that forged an emperor and an empire. And that's the story of the Gallic Wars in just under 3 minutes. It was a brutal, decade-long conflict that not only changed the face of Europe but also set one of history's most iconic figures on a path to absolute power. If you enjoy getting your history fixed this fast, make sure to hit that like button. Share this video and subscribe to 3 Minutes Studio for more. Thanks for watching.